that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat close. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hot like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clever D, the Combat G, and the Sports Professor. Yo, what up, friends? And welcome in. You know what it is. It is your favorite combat sports television program on the YouTube airways at Ballin' Buds. And you know who it is. The star of the show, Clever D, the Combat G. What is going on, my brother? How are we doing today?
People, lend me your ear and your bank account because I'm broke. Anyways, we about to have some fun today. We go with some UFC, we're going some boxing. We got breaking news with Shakur Stevenson. We got some fun today. And I might talk about some video games later on if we have enough time or if I feel like it.
Yeah, so I mean, as you mentioned, right, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things we need to talk about. This weekend is the huge fight weekend in Vegas. Comes around every year. Obviously, Canelo fights every year this time of year. And so make sure, everybody, that you are subscribed at Ballin' Buds so you're getting all of these live videos and the videos that we put out on a daily basis. So you will be able to see Clever D's Combat Sports specials every time they come live as well. Make sure you tune in. Next week, I'll have my new Mind of the Professor #4 next Wednesday, 8 p.m., same time as today. That being said, let's go ahead and kick this bad boy off. So, starting off with a little bit of UFC. I know we're going to get into 306, the Noche, the Spear, right? This is all, again, revolving around, usually, it used to, before UFC started to compete, with which we'll talk about in a little bit, used to revolve all around Canelo, the Mexicans, fight weekend, Independence Day fight weekend, all that good stuff. So before we get into that, there was a fight night last week, and I want to get your thoughts for our fans here before we get into 306. We had a couple of, the co-main and the main event that I just want to run through really quick. So the co-main event here was Jessica Andrade, who fought Natalia Silva. It was a decision. Natalia Silva won by decision. Now, obviously, these are two women headed on different career tracks right now, right? One is, Andrade starting to slide. You got Silva on the come up. So give me some quick thoughts on this fight.
Yeah, that card was basically changing of the guard type thing. You with the main event being Gilbert Burns and Brady and Jessica Andrade and Silva. So I mean, Andrade she's always going to put on a good fight. She's fought the who's who. She submitted herself in the UFC as a great women competitor, but it's Silva's time. Andrade, she looked good, but it's about that time. And I can say hang it up, but she's taking that next step below to gatekeeper status, which isn't a bad thing. But she's heading down that path.
That's exactly what I was thinking. She's kind of headed on that gatekeeper kind of the veteran who has lost a step, maybe is starting to lose some fights here and there, and can be still a pillar of at least something to measure yourself against, a measuring stick, so to say.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned the other fight there, Gilbert Burns. Same kind of thing we're talking about here. He fought Sean Brady. How'd you feel about that fight? By the way, Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady won by decision. Excuse me.
Yeah, Gil Burns. I mean, he's 38 years old. He's he's been around the block quite a few times. Had some good fights with Kamaru Usman, even Khamzat Chimaev. He's the first one to really test Khamzat. I think it was the last fight in the USA, possibly. But Gilbert Burns, I mean, he even admitted it before the fight. This is probably it if he's going to possibly defend for a world title or fight for a world title, or kind of slide back down. And I mean, Sean Brady's good. He's out of Philly. He only had one loss. That loss was to Bilal Muhammad.
Remember the name.
Remember the name. The champion showed up a lot of stand up that fight. This fight was back and forth. I felt bad for both of them because both of them had two crucial below the belt shots on each other, and each of them, oh my God, I felt each one. I mean, it was like a toe knuckle to the gonads. It was like, yeah,
no.
I just like, somewhere I saw a dove fainted. I think every time you get someone gets hit in the nuts like that, a dove faints. That's what I've heard from somewhere. But
not a dove.
I guess if girls get hit, a pigeon faints. I don't know why it's a dove pigeon. Who knows? But anyways, it was a good back and forth fight. But Sean Brady, this guy. He is a big into like CrossFit and burning so many calories. Not triathlon, but he's a very active person, and his gas tank is going to stay up there. So he took over Burns towards the end of that fight and took that over. It's funny, I actually watched that today. It's so hilarious.
Good. I'm glad because I know that you're always on top of your stuff, and I wanted to at least get your thoughts on that before we move to 306 because obviously those are some bigger names that people might know. So I just wanted to make sure we got your thoughts on last weekend's fight night. That being said, now let's get into this weekend's Noche at the Sphere, the first UFC event at the Sphere, which we will get into all of that and what that actually means. But just in terms of the Sphere itself and the venue and the way that it's laid out. And I'm sure everybody at this point in time has seen pictures on the internet if you haven't been already. So it should be a spectacle, should be pretty awesome. There are some three main fights here really to talk about, and we'll get into them in just a second. But before we do that, what are your overall thoughts about UFC moving into the Sphere and doing an event there?
It's cool. I mean, I saw a special about how many TVs it has and how much it costs to keep that thing running and whatnot. It's a spectacle. It's pretty dope looking, but I'm eager to see how it looks from aesthetic point of view. Is it going to be similar to when Roy Jones fought at the a place where they had an NFL draft back in the day, the Music Hall in New York, and it kind of had the stage at the bottom where Roy Jones fought there, and that's when he had Redman and Method Man walking to the ring. Is it going to be basically the cage way in the beginning, way at the bottom, and everyone's just projecting up? It's going to be cool to look at, but if I was on the outside of the Sphere, I'd be kind of pissed that they're not showing the fight on the damn dome. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't pay a ticket to go up in there, I walk by it. He's like, "Oh, you'll see. Where at? You can't see. Pay a ticket, buddy." But I wonder how many people on the outside are going to do because those ticket prices are man. Beyonce even said they're high.
I mean, that's exactly what they're gonna do. If you don't have a ticket, you're gonna be left out in the rain wondering what's happening. And those tickets are very expensive. The nosebleeds, when I checked, were going for like $400, $450 just for a nosebleed ticket. So I said nope, not gonna do it. Because I was actually thinking about
3,000. They're trying to resell for some like mid-level just to get up in there 3,000. I said, for who? Shout them out? Oh no, we're okay.
Yeah, ain't gonna be able to do it. Not gonna be able to do it.
I'm okay on that.
All right, so let's get into the three main bouts here. First, we have was supposed to be a fight a few months ago, but an injury took out Brian Ortega. So now we have this fight coming up again at 145. Yes, sir. The featherweights, we have 16-3 Brian Ortega taking on 25-6 Diego Lopez. My friend, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I'm a big fan of Brian Ortega. He trains with Nick and Nate Diaz. He's a Cali kid. He's very good with jiu-jitsu, but he just doesn't fight that much. He's kind of similar to two of the boxers that I'm gonna go over on the Canelo card. It's just his activity rate is just not as where it should be. He puts on great fights. That Yadier Rodriguez fight was very good in Mexico. But Diego Lopez, this kid ain't no joke, man. This kid is legit, and I'm thinking Lopez can get him up out of there. I'm usually I like. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's been a while. It's been a while. Let's get that thing ready. I'm gonna go up.
Clubs
Third
club.
I think slow as hell. Third round knockout. Diego can get up out of here.
Third round knockout for Diego Lopez.
Or I'm not, I wasn't doing a caveat, maybe a submission by Ortega because he has a great ground game, Pauls. But I'm definitely going to go with Diego Lopez because they're transitioning in careers. I think Diego's starting to move up in the ladder. People are starting to notice how good he is, and he's rocking that mullet too, which has become fashionably trendy nowadays. But whatever, that's another story. But yeah, so I'm going with Diego Lopez right there. Bam.
There we go.
I would say you heard it here first, but that's another trendy line everyone's using, so I can't say that.
Yeah. Don't
be original.
Yeah. So no, yeah, definitely don't do that. Yeah. So again, yeah, it's something where you mentioned it. Someone doesn't fight a lot. Someone is a little bit, older, not in as much fighter mode all the time, and that can definitely hurt you when it comes to these sorts of fights. So, all right, cool. Moving on to the co-main event, UFC Women's Flyweight Champion. We're going to have Alexa Grasso, who is going to have a very, very tough challenge here. She's 16-3-1, the Mexican, but she goes up against Hall of Famer, undoubtedly, legend. And her record is sorry, excuse me, I missed my screen there. 23-4-1. Valentina Shevchenko. Wow, we've loved her for a long time, but Alexa Grasso, everyone really loves her fighting style. And she's a good fighter. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Alexa, she's pride fighting out of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, just like someone else we're going to talk about later on. They're representing big time. Like, if you look at this card, I think besides the main event, which is weird, I think there's a Mexican fighter in every fight this card. It's obviously they're catering to the Mexican fans as they should on Mexican Independence Day. But besides the main event, I think every person's fighting. There's a Mexican fighter being represented in this card, which is amazing. This is the rubber match. The first fight, Grasso won. The second fight was a draw. Now we're at 3. Grasso's younger. She's a little more hungrier. Valentina, the Bullet. I mean, this one was one of the best female Muay Thai fighters back in the day, a couple years ago, prior to joining the UFC. She's fought a who's who. She's the greatest flyweight champion of all time, women's flyweight champion. She's had 7 title defenses of that belt. So she's basically the Amanda Nunes of her division, and her fights with Amanda Nunes could have gone. She lost by split decision on, I think it's the first one. It could have gone either way. So she's one of the greatest female fighters there is. However, at age 36, how much does she have left in the tank? Okay, I just said this about Gilbert Burns, about Jessica Andrade. How much is left in the tank? She always comes to fight. Don't get me wrong, but there's always a certain point where it's just not there no more. Okay, you look at all the great fighters. Some bow down in grace. Some go down before it gets too messy. With that being said,
clubs bangers. Clubs bangers.
She's getting that belt back. I think it's going to be a 5-round decision. I think she's going to outpoint her. She's going to outwork her. Grasso, I think, is going to lose that belt. I think. I'm sorry, Alexa Grasso. I mean, these two fighters, they are the coaches on the Ultimate Fighter show right now, so they're being seen by everybody. But I got a feeling that Valentina is gonna get her on this one. I don't think she's gonna knock her out. I think she's gonna outpoint her and get the decision. That's what I'm going with. You take that to the bank. Don't cash it unless you win, and give me $5 from it. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. First of all, love that. You know how much I love Valentina and how much of a G I think she is. So her getting her belt back makes me happy. Not that I don't like Grasso and the win that she had. That was, really important for the Mexican heritage and the Mexican community and all that. But I really like Shevchenko and the way she fights. So I would be happy to see that. So Good, well, at least in my eyes, a good prediction there. Let's get to the main event of the evening.
Woo.
And as you mentioned, the only, well, there's actually two fights, as one correction. You were right for the most part. Most of the fights I looked are all Mexicans, except remember, Diego Lopez is from Brazil, not Mexico. So,
Well, Brian Ortega, Mexican heritage. He's from
That's true.
Cali,
Yeah, that's true.
Mexican
That's a good
heritage,
point. That's a good point. That's
Mexican American.
Okay, we'll take that. The judges, yes, the judges will accept Mexican American heritage. I like it.
Like
All right,
you know
main event 135, the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Merab Dvalishvili, excuse me, I practiced it earlier, so I got close. Dvalishvili. Is 17 and 7. I know. I figured I'd mess it up. I tried though. At least
that was Wale.
Suave. There you go. That was Wale.
Let's call him the machine. Let's call him the machine.
The machine. 17 and 4 versus Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean. 18 and 1. The champion. Obviously, he defended his belt a few months ago, and is being brought back now. He is not Mexican, but aside from, and there was actually an article that came out today. I was going to ask you this later as my personal question in the mailbag, but I guess I might as well enter it in here now. But there was an article that came out today where Sean O'Malley was basically proclaiming himself the face of UFC since Conor McGregor doesn't fight enough. And I mean, honestly, with Dana White putting him in this position, it's hard to kind of argue that he is at least at the top of the ladder rung, and maybe not the top, but he's up there. And so he said Conor was still the top, but if Conor didn't come back and fight, then he would be. So that's what the article was all about. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this huge fight?
First, we'll start with him being a face. I don't know. I mean, they do parade him out there a lot. He's done some boxing commentary. He commentated the Nate Diaz against Jorge Masvidal. He's one of the commentators with Sean Porter and the other gentleman. I know he's partnered with the Nelk Boys, and that does those Happy Dad, whatever beer. He's part of that, does those commercials. He was with the Arizona Cardinals recently, taking pictures of Kyler Murray and all the rest of it. So they do parade him out there to try to get his name out there. I don't know if it'll be a household name. I'm not too sure. He's getting there. I don't think Samantha going to Wegmans on a Thursday knows who he is yet. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
sure don't.
I know Margaret going to Food Line, they probably know who John Jones is, but I don't think if Samantha knows who Sean O'Malley is yet. But he's getting there. I think the younger crowd is really feeling him. He's a good fighter. I mean, he came into the game getting the biggest big up in that Contender Series when he got that knockout, and Snoop Dogg was commentating. It was like, oh, sugar, just sizing him up. And since then, he's used that to progress his career, and you look at it like this guy's had 13 fights in the UFC, and he has 8 KOs out of 13 fights. Out of those 13 fights, he has 9 performance or fight of the night. So that tells you that he puts on a show. So people do like seeing him. I would be eager to see what the numbers are for his pay-per-view, because he's, headlining this one. So I like to see, what are the numbers, are people buying his stuff. So that kind of shows you who the face is when it comes to the popularity. I'm a big fan of Sean O'Malley. I think he's a very good fighter, but he's similar to a John Jones, where it's a unicorn. Why is it? Why? Because it's a unicorn. Because he's 5'11", fighting at what, 135 or something like that. So he's very tall and lanky for that weight class, because a lot of those guys are a lot shorter. So I'm thinking he's gonna always have that benefit. Only fight that was kind of wishy-washy for me is when he fought Peter Yan. I actually thought he lost that fight, but they gave him the nod. Even he was surprised when they raised his hand. With this fight with a Marab, that was violent. The machine, he's not gonna knock you out. Okay, they call him a machine because he's nonstop pressure. He's gonna try to take you down, ground and pound you. You know what I'm saying? That's his style. With his height, he could probably get inside on O'Malley. So I'm wondering how he's gonna approach this fight, because when he fought Peter Yan, who's a striker, he was tagging him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of spin kicks to the body, doing things like that. Marat is gonna wrestle him because he's training partners with Aljamain Sterling. We all know about the whole jacket. And what are you doing? The whole jacket incident. We got a close up of your shaggy beard there, sir.
Sorry about
we
that.
had you got my train of thought. What are you doing over there? But yeah, so when Aljamain got in the cage and then he took his jacket and he had that little Michael Jackson jacket running around the cage, and it was always the beef right there. So I'm liking this fight. I've always wanted this fight to happen. A lot of people are thinking Sean O'Malley is going to run straight through him. I don't think so. Marat's fought some real good people. He's not a big knockout artist. I only think he has like 3 or 4 knockouts, but he did a great knockout against Marlon Moraes. He's fought Aldo. He's fought Jan. He's fought Triple C, Henry Cejudo, and he's put on great performances against all those good fighters. So you can't just write this guy off. Sean O'Malley, he's going to have to use his length. He's going to have to box him, keep him at bay. He cannot let him get inside. If he gets inside, he's going to take him down. Sean O'Malley's wrestling is not that great. It's not on the level of Marat's. If Aljamain would have stuck to the game plan, he probably would have had Sean O'Malley, because Sean O'Malley had a knee injury for that fight anyways. And, he went to the upper room in the second round when he got him with that 2-piece. Yeah, it wasn't that good. But I want to say for this one, this is people. It's a tough one.
Clubs, bangers.
I'm still going with Sean O'Malley. He's going to get him up out of there. I think 4th round knockout. Sean O'Malley's going to take him out. But I'm going to caveat this one. Okay, if it goes the distance, Marat wins. If it goes the distance, he will win, because that means it'll be kind of like Bilal Hamid going against Leon Edwards. It's going to be a ground and pound, very slow fight. However, if it stops early at any time with a knockout, Marat's not going to knock him out. It's going to be Sean O'Malley winning by knockout. I don't see Sean O'Malley winning by decision. I see him winning by knockout. But I will caveat that, kind of like I did Bilal Muhammad Leon Edwards fight. If it goes the distance, then Marat will win by decision. Okay, bam, there you go. See you at the bank. If I win, take your money.
You know what? I'm so glad that you mentioned that Bilal Muhammad Leon Edwards fight, because when I was going through our notes for the show, as we do, and making sure that we have our stuff ready and our knowledge good on these fighters and everything. The only thing that kept coming back to me when I was reading up on this fight was that fight that happened. And I was like, man, I can so see Marab, or the Machine as he's called, very much so winning a decision here, similar in that vein as was done in that fight. And so since for some reason that's really all I could think of when I was reading up on this fight. And yes, Sean O'Malley is a very exciting fighter. He's a great fighter. I'm going with Marab. I'm going with Marab in a decision. So I'm gonna back up your clever caveat, and that is going to be my my professor pick.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those fights that can go either way. What up, Troy? What up, Bajo? It's one of those. So like Marat, he's a very good fighter, but he's pressure. And if you see the fight when he fought Henry Cejudo, who's a Olympic wrestler, okay, and a 2-division champion in the UFC, he got him on that. So he's gonna bring the pressure. And I think Sean O'Malley, with his length, it's gonna be tough to get the short guy up off you. Pause. So if he gets in close, it might just be one of those ground and pound, ragdoll type fights. It's like Leon Edwards against Bilal Muhammad, but Bilal stood up. His stand-up game was a little better than expected fighting Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards just came in flat, but that could have been the fact that they're fighting in the UK at like 5, 6 in the morning, basically adhering to America's time instead of us adhering to their time with their champion. Make it make sense, but whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. Shout out T Roy, as he said. Shout out Bajo, my brother. Love you. Shout out Flo coming in and showing up. What's good, Flo? Yeah, I love these glasses. Some people said the Jeffrey Dahmer from Netflix, but either way, I'll take it. I like these glasses. They're cool. Infamous cover caveat. Yes, sir.
Is Jeffrey Dahmer resolution you got there from the 90s? I know that.
I haven't seen the. I know yet. No, there's no way. The light may be a little, because I didn't want the light to be that bad, but there's no way it's the camera, because the camera is brand new, and the camera. I mean, if it's something else, I have no clue. Then
you look like episode of Unsolved Mysteries. But go ahead, we good. I'm just messing with you.
That's really
That's
weird because I literally bought a brand new camera today. So if it is like that, that's not good.
my man Troy.
And
What's up, Troy?
I don't know what's going on.
We
Thank
got
you,
to
Troy.
soon.
Tuning in, everybody. At Ball and Buds, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube so you can stay updated with our videos and our live shows. Also, make sure you follow us on IG at Ball and Buds as well. BALLANDBUDS. Please make sure you go ahead and support us. And we know we say this all the time, and y'all say you're going to do it, and then you don't do it. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see those numbers go up. So cue the theme music. And you know what? That's great because I'm going to take a picture of this so I can show you what I'm seeing. Boom, did that. And I'll send it to you afterwards because I don't know what you're talking about. It looks perfect to me, but okay, cool. I got it. So it must be it must be the internet, I guess. I'm guessing it is because everything looks perfect on my end. So, all right. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Anna, shout out. Thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate you, Anna. Appreciate you.
Cool. So then any other talk about UFC 306, sir?
Yeah, so this is card. I feel like, to be honest with you, I love the concept that they're trying to do. I love that Turkey Alex Sheik is sponsoring this card that we'll get into here in a second. I know why he's doing it. I'll explain here to counteract Canelo. But it's showing respect to your fans. You know what I'm saying? They have a big Mexican following. They got a lot of Mexican fighters. So why not do something on Mexican Independence Day for those fighters and those people? So I'm all for it. It's a good concept, good card. It's just that you're going against a juggernaut in Canelo Alvarez. So I'm eager to see what the numbers are. But they've done this before when they had when Al Heyman. Well, I would say Al Heyman sabotaged, but when they had Earl Spence and Bud Crawford fight, and they also had a UFC card the same night when Pereira went against Bukovic, which was his first fight at 205. So this has happened before where UFC and boxing have been on at the same time. I think it's kind of productive, but it kind of shows you who's the big dog. And most likely this time, I think UFC is not going to win this one. I think it's going to be boxing. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, as you mentioned, last year this exact situation happened, and we wondered and talked about it on the same exact program. Why would UFC try to encroach on what has normally been the boxing weekend in Vegas and one of the most known boxing weekends of the year? But Dana White doesn't care about those sorts of things. He is clearly just a businessman that is trying to make as much money as possible. And, in a capitalist society, shout out to him for that. But at the same time, you're gonna win sometimes, you're gonna lose sometimes. If you believe that they're gonna bite the bullet this weekend, and that's what they're gonna have to do. But they are encroaching on previously held territories, so they're the ones that have to accept the risk that comes along with that.
Well,
cool.
They're also
let's move on into boxing.
Boxing has been approaching on a lot of things since Floyd Mayweather fighting on my birthday weekend, which always kind of ruins it. So, they need to stop doing that Cinco de Mayo. That's my birthday weekend. Do it again when y'all gonna see me in the streets. I don't know what streets you can see me though. I might just wave. That's it. But what I'm saying, just do it the weekend after. Let me have fun.
That also happened the last 2 years in a row. So can't foresee that happening, my friend. Probably gonna.
No, it's been happening since Florida. They've been killing me.
So now we'll get into more in the mailbag about what that actually means in terms of money wise and gate and stuff like that. But before we get into that, moving into boxing, the Monster Inoue fought on Tuesday of about last week, so 8 days ago. And he fought Doheny and had a TKO in the 7th round. He is obviously world title holder in multiple divisions, and he is called the Monster for a weekend. Weekend. So, what is your thoughts on that fight, my friend?
I mean, he did what he's supposed to do. I mean, got up out of there. That fight was like at I want to say 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It was but early for us because it was fighting over there in Japan. And the Monster does what the Monster always does. I don't fault him. He's in my pound for pound top 3. But I don't fault him for his opposition because it's not his fault who he's fighting. But he's moved up. I'm waiting on for when Bam Bam Rodriguez moves up to his division. I mean, it might take a little while, maybe a year or two, if Bam Bam keeps on a projection that he's doing, because he's in my top 10 best fighters right now. Bam Bam Rodriguez, y'all need to look him up. Hell of a fighter. That's the fight everyone's kind of clamoring for, but I don't think Bam Bam's ready yet. Hopefully he gets another fight. If he moves up, at least in his division, get one fight, then fights him. That'd be great. But I mean, people were saying that, they want Inoue fighting Tank Davis, and like, man, Tank will knock the. I ain't gonna get canceled, but he knock him out if they fight at 130. Tank, he's just a bigger guy. So I will, if he cleans out that division like he cleaned out the prior division, and moves up again, maybe there's like a feeler fight at 130. I'll be eager to see how how that translates over as far as his weight and his power and whatnot. Because when he fought Luis Neri, Neri put him on his butt. Just like he's been tested even when he fought Nonito Donaire. That fight, I think they fought twice, but the first fight was pretty tough for him. You know what I'm saying? So he's been in some tough fights, but people always like to say, like they said it for Bud Crawford, I can't put him up there because he hasn't fought nobody. If he beats the crap out of everybody he fights, then it's not like he's going to decision. Okay. He's putting on a show. So you can't fault him for that. Okay. It's not his fault that, he's not fighting the other marquee names, because there's no marquee names in his division. So he's just doing what he's supposed to do. But yeah, he got him up out of there. The guy basically quit off a body shot. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, like it was bad. It was like, what was it, round 7, round 9? Somewhere around there. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Yeah, it was round 7.
Yeah, round 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Derek, I'll send you the picture too. I don't know. I know I'm on 720, and it's a brand new camera that I just bought, so it's got to be the internet. So it is what it is, because I got internet in my apartment. I even got that and went out of my way to buy that, which I didn't have before, and I thought was the issue. So clearly, hey, nothing I can do now. Anyways, boxing still 15 rounds, no budget.
It's a joke. He knows what he's doing. I know what he's doing.
I know, because he asked that last time. Remember, he asked that in the stream.
He's trying to be like. I'll say it. He's trying to be like Mandork. But yeah, Baja, go ahead, pop at that Mandork. But yeah, let's keep moving. Let's go.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll look into that too, Flo. Thank you for that. That's a good point. I could probably try to do that since it's down here. So, all right, cool. Let's keep it moving then. So moving into the fight this weekend, we have a few different fights I know you wanted to touch on. Obviously, the main event is the most important, but there are some other 2 fights that are on the card that I know you wanted to at least give your opinion on. So first, we'll start with Nashville's own, shout out, Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, going up against Trevor McCombie, part of the MAGA universe.
Oh man, he was straight MAGA. Jesus Christ.
What are your thoughts on this fight? It's 12 rounds for the vacant WBA interim super middleweight title.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Caleb Plant. I mean, I like Caleb Plant. He's the type that you know what I'm saying, he's old school. He wants to fight the best. He always wants to put on a good show. Also, if you disrespect him as a man, he might slap the shit out of you. Ask Charlo. It was Jamel or Jamal, one of the two. Ask them about that. Okay? When he smacked him in his hat, like that. Same with Ryan with the racist bigot who tried to talk about his wife, who was suing that guy. When he tried to talk about his wife, threw the drink, went at him at I forgot what fight that was. So Caleb Plant is one of my. I just like him as a person, and he's a damn good fighter. I just thought the game plan against Canelo wasn't what he should have done, but it is what it is. That's when you fight when you step your game to like the upper echelon. He's his last fight, he hasn't fought since the David Benavidez fight, and I don't know how he survived 12 rounds because he looked good in the first few rounds, but David Benavidez put that pressure on him. He was looking, it looked rough for him, but he still survived. He hasn't fought since then. I think that was about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, something of that nature. But he's 6-2 in his last 8 fights. He's former IBF champion. He knows what it is to get that high level. He's a hell of a businessman because he has businesses outside of the ring, but he knows how to translate that into the dollars in the ring. Like when he beefed with Benavidez and even Edgar Berlanga, who's fighting Canelo Alvarez, he did the trademark and was making money off their name because they never did it. So every Edgar Berlanga shirt sold or whatever, I believe Caleb Plant gets money off that. He made a website with their name on it, which is hilarious. It's a great petty move, and I take my hat off to him. If I had a hat on, I would tip it to him, because I love the pettiness when you have beef with somebody that's not on your level of IQ, and when it comes to the business side of things. So shout out to him with that. But he's fighting Trevor McCumbee. He was at the press conference all maggot out back when they first have it, like that's supposed to mean something. I guess he's trying to get that crowd base, cool, whatever. If that's what you got to do to get fans to get you, well, sure. But McCumbee, he's 28-0. I don't really know much about him. 21 knockouts. Plant called him a glorified 31-year-old prospect, which is hilarious. This is his first step up with a higher opposition, fighting a Caleb Plant. And a question I saw on, I forgot the homie's name. I follow him on Facebook. Jesus, I want to give you credit, but he said this is the first time on pay-per-view, or can you name the last time on pay-per-view 2 white Americans fought each other? If anybody in the comment section, probably Googling right now, when is the last time 2 white Americans fought each other on pay-per-view? All right, in boxing. And I was like, shoot, I was thinking like Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti, but that's Irish Mickey Ward, and that's Arturo Gatti, he's Italian. So as far as like white guys fighting each other, I can't think of any. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully it's a milestone, and it could wake up a lot of other Caucasian fighters, American fighters, to go back pretty far. Yeah. I can't think of any. But shout out to both of them. But Caleb Plant's gonna win. You go ahead and get that. You don't even gotta get it. We all know Caleb Plant's gonna win. Yeah.
Clubs banger.
Yeah, that's not even. Right. I wasn't even gonna entertain that one. Yeah, Caleb Plant gonna get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what rounds he's gonna get him up out of here. I'll be shocked if it goes the distance. I'll be shocked. But Caleb Plant's gonna get him up out of here. I'll put that. I would just say, yeah.
So you're saying Trevor McGumby is about to get bent up like Gumby? That wasn't good. Okay, I just thought of it. It wasn't good. All right, title fight is Irislandi Lara versus Danny Garcia for Lara's WBA super middleweight title. What are your thoughts on this co-main event?
Well, like I mentioned with about T City, Brian Ortega, you got 2 fighters that fight once in a blue moon. You got Lara. They say he's 41 years old. He's a defected Cuban fighter. Shout out to my man Ruben, the Rubik's Cuban. He's always sizing him up. Lara is a great fighter. I think he beat Canelo. Please, people, rewatch that fight. He beat Canelo, and he is the reason why you cannot. When Canelo has a press conference, no fighters can really go up there, because he's the one who snatched the mic out of his hand. If people remember that, now no fighters can really walk up on Canelo like that. That's why Demetrius Andre had to do it from the crowd, and he's like, payday. So he's the reason why you can't walk up on Canelo after a fight. But he's a damn good fighter. Fought a who's who. He's fought. This is how long he's been in the game. He's fought Paul Williams. He's fought Canelo. He's fought Jared Hurd, Swift Jared Hurd, who has the same similar nickname as Danny Garcia, who's fighting Jared Hurd, local guy, DMV. Shout out to him, PG County. But he's fought just about everybody. Austin Trout, I believe, also, and he's still in the game at age 41, which is questionable, because Alfonso Soriano, they said he was 19 when he was really 33 years old when he was playing with the Mets, I believe, back in the day. So you never could trust their birth certificates. But he's fought 5 times in the last 5 years. So I believe this is a catch weight for WBA, which is weird. I never knew you could be a catch weight and still be for the belt. That's whatever. Maybe that belt has different rules and regulations. But but he's fighting Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia straight out of Philadelphia, representing Puerto Rico. Danny Garcia is another guy. He's fought a who's who. He's ex-champion at 140, 147. Fought the Sean Porters, fought the Earl Spences, fought Eric Morales twice. But I was at the Amir Khan fight in DC. I was at the convention center. I was at that fight. So he's fought a who's who since he's been in the game. He's only 36 years old, but his last fight was against Jose Benavidez his first fight when he moved up, and that was after fighting Earl when he lost to Earl Spence, and that was after like a 2-year break or whatever. I had it written down here. Okay, so he's 5-3 in his last 8 fights, but they're so spaced out. That's within like a 7-year span. Okay, so he'll fight, take a break, fight again, take a break, fight again. say when fighters say stuff like, oh, I don't need to fight anymore. I got all my investments, things like that. When you start talking like that, to me, you got one foot already out the door. You're not as focused because you already solidified your wealth and what you're going to do the next step of your life, which is great. But when you start talking like that, to me, that means that you're not. It just sounds like you're not as focused on the task at hand. You're about to go into the ring with somebody who's going to try to take your head off. So with Danny Garcia's rust and with Erislandy Lara's rust, this is kind of like a toss-up to me, to be honest with you. This one's hard. This one's hard to pick. But I'm going to go with
Clubs Banger.
age over anything. I'm going to go with Danny Garcia. Okay. I don't.
Wow.
Knockout.
Really?
I go the distance. Yeah, I'm going to go with Garcia on this one. He's younger. He doesn't have that much wear and tear on him as much as Lara. I mean, Lara, he's fought everybody, and he's been in for a minute. I mean, I saw a picture last week. He fought Moses for a piece of bread back in the day. They was fighting, and I was like, dang, he got old. But he's one of those. I'm saying he's old as dirt. So I'm a big fan of him. I just think the age it catches up with everybody at some point, and I think it's going to catch up with Erislandy and Lara. I think Danny Garcia's going to get him on this one. This is part of my master plan, but that's why I think.
Okay. No, I mean, hey, I'm gonna wait for you to bring everything full circle and unravel your master plan.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. So the fans. Hold
on.
Okay, go ahead.
It was Lara is a 260 favorite, so the Las Vegas does not agree with you. Let's just say
they never do. That's why my back's against the wall. Okay, my back is against the wall. I need some good picks. I've been slacking lately on my UFC picks. I need to bring myself back up. So that's why I got the wall behind me, man. I feel like one of them cats from Heathcliff hanging out in the alley or something right now.
In the alley.
Some of y'all ain't have cable and watch that. It's okay.
I remember Heathcliff. That's tremendous. Heathcliff and Garfield. That's tremendous. All right, let's move to the main event. Yeah. Eating the fish in the bone. Yeah. Canelo Alvarez is making the 8th defense of at least one of those super middleweight titles, depending on their stupid
one.
Yeah, they're the stupid rules they have about stripping people and all these other stupid things. Alvarez 61-2 and 239 KOs. First won his super middleweight title back in December 2020 over Callum Smith. Became an undisputed champion over the aforementioned Caleb Plant in November 2021. The IBF stripped him of a belt in July after Alvarez decided to fight the fighter he is now, Edgar Berlanga, Puerto Rico's own, Wepa, instead of the IBF's #1 mandatory challenger, William Skull, was who he was supposed to fight. So, I guess technically that does mean that this is the lineal championship, but I'm not sure, so I'll let you explain that more. But anyways, this is a huge fight. Berlanga is 22-0 with 17 KOs. Hyped prospect. I know I followed his whole career because he came up and he had the 16 fights with knockouts, first round knockouts in a row, or 14, something like that. And it was really awesome. So I was watching all his fights. I'm going to let you get into the boxing schematics, but in the end, you can tell what is really going to happen in a fight based on the amount of experience a person has, and that's all I'll say. Clubber D, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll start with Canelo with the belt situation. This is the reason why boxing is corrupt and people aren't fans of boxing. A lot of different belts in the commissions. Yes, he got stripped by the IBF because he didn't want to fight the mandatory challenger, but that never stopped any other. It didn't stop the WBC for letting him skip over David Benavidez for 3 years. It didn't stop the WBA for letting him skip over David Morrell for 4 years. But now the IBF girls are set and said, we're going to strip you because you don't want to fight our fighter. I get that, but all the commissions, all those belts need to keep that same energy because he should have already fought Benavidez and he should already have fought David Morrell. Everybody knows that. So that's why, when it comes to that stuff, whatever. It's so weird to me. But and also when he fought Callum Smith, Benavidez had just got stripped for having illegal substance in his body, recreational drugs, and that belt was thrown in to the belt he won. That's how he got the WBC belt. It was kind of weird, but you don't usually see that. But anyways, I mean, Canelo, I mean, he hasn't really knocked anyone out since Caleb Plant. I think his last 5 fights, or last 4 or 5 wins have been unanimous decision. They've gone a distance. The last fight with Javi Munguia, he could have got him out earlier. He was nice to him. I think he could have knocked him out. Charlo ran that whole fight.
He was nice to him.
Yeah, I mean, it was. He literally could have knocked it. Like, there's so many openings. He could have got Jaime Munguia out of there. But I guess he must say, hey, you know what? I'm a, after he says he's not going to fight any other Mexicans, and he fights him. But it's Canelo. I mean, his ring IQ, Berlanga's not even close to that. Berlanga's not even on the same atmosphere as Canelo when it comes to this. Berlanga, yes, the first 16 fights, he was getting people up out of there, but then he went the distance with a journeyman, and that's when he kind of got exposed. And people were like, okay, Berlanga he's not all the hype that people thought he is. And he's there biting people. There's a couple other fights doing some tricks, he gets too emotional in the fight, and he does some things he's not supposed to do. This fight, if anyone knows Canelo or follows Canelo's career, Berlanga reminds me of James Kirkland when they fought in Houston at the Astros Stadium back in the day. And Kirkland didn't have Aaron Wolf. Powerful fighter, knocked people out, always put on a show, but had no discipline. Okay. And Canelo, that was a highlight knockout. I mean, Kirkland, he hit him. Like, he was, like I said, he put the ring on. He was with Frodo and them. He was with whatever his name is, Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? He was in the shadow realm. Okay. That was factory delete, factory reset button on his body, because mine was so close, knocked him out. This fight, like with Berlanga, like I said, he's a proud Puerto Rican fighter from the Bronx, that old New York style. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come straight at Canelo. He's not gonna run. He's gonna meet him in the middle of the ring, which is cool. But if you do not have a game plan, and there's too many highlights, if you watch this man fight, he is not disciplined. Okay, he'll put some oomph in his punches, but he doesn't keep his guard up all the time. He's easy to get hit. I think Canelo's going to capitalize on this. I don't think he's going to take him out as fast as he did Kirkland, in like the first or second round. But we don't even need a club banger for this one, because people already know Canelo will get him up out of there. I'm gonna say by the 5th round. Usually 6-7 rounds when they kind of figure the person out. He's gonna get him up out of there by the 5th round. He will knock him out clean. He's gonna wake up. He's gonna have a bottle of coquito in his hand. Like, oh, where'd I get this from? He's gonna be back sipping on something. You know what I'm saying? He might have some Red Snapper Mofongo. You never know. But Canelo's gonna knock his ass out. And they showed the record of Mexico versus Puerto Rico. I think it's like 70 and 79. I think Mexico's up right now on the fighters going against each other. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. But I think Mexico is winning a little bit in the rivalry. But that's one of the great boxing rivalries. We need more fighters, going at each other like this. But I don't. Berlanga has heart. I just don't see him landing a lucky punch. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. So I got Canelo getting up out of there. 5th round knockout.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, Canelo's defense will just by itself be too much for Berlanga. And as much as I love him being a Puerto Rican fighter, and we were hoping to be one of the next up and coming better ones, and he still can be. But taking this fight is it's not even. There's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that Canelo is going to easily win this bout. And it sucks that Canelo runs from his main competition and has to fight these young up-and-comers or these bum nobodies or these journeymen, because honestly, we would like to see him fight not only better competition, but also we'd like to see some of these younger fighters be able to continue to fight and make themselves better before having to come up against such a challenge that can derail their career early on. So be better, Canelo, be better. You're too good, and you've been around too long and fighting too long, and maybe that's just what it is, who was it that said the silk sheets and pajamas, when you wake up in silk sheets and pajamas? Who was that?
Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, Marvin Hagler, right? So when you wake up, like Conor McGregor feels these days, you wake up with a lot of money.
You do construction work. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put the work in. And Berlanga, he's game. Fat Joe came out on an interview. He was like, the last Puerto Rican fighter I walked to the ring. What happened? So he has, he's from New York. He has that New York Puerto Rican crowd. It's rowdy. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Wepa, all that to all them. Shout out to them in Puerto Rico, and hook a brother up with a bottle of coquito, please, somebody. But it's gonna be tough for him because he's not disciplined. When you get inside, your hands are down. You easy to get caught. He's been caught many times by fighters that shouldn't be catching him. And I'm not to say I hate that word exposed, but when he fought, I think it was Steve Ross. I think we were down in Orlando at a cigar shop. That fight went the distance. Me, my brother, and Francis, we were all watching that fight. And I was like, damn, man, Berlanga should get this guy up out of there. And dude was outboxing him. And then he barely pulled off the victory. And then he has a little issue with Top Rank, and now he's with the Zone with Eddie Heard. And just go back to follow back on that conspiracy stuff. His last fight got him the regular or the number one contender for the WBA, which was David Morrell for the longest, but he moved up to light heavyweight. So now this guy gets a title shot all of a sudden, which is like, come on, man. It's typical boxing politics.
Yeah, and you have lamented for many of years and on this show about the politics of boxing and how we never get what we deserve or what we want as fans because the politics and the different federations and all this stuff comes into play. It doesn't allow us to be able to get the fights that we want and see the things that we want to see, the action that we want to see. So I agree. Cool. So September 21st, there's another huge fight that we want to talk about. And it is not the all-British fight that people want to see, although they are still hoping that may come to be after this fight. But on September 21st, there is the Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois card at Wembley Stadium, for the IBF, the vacant IBF heavyweight title. Dubois, 26 years old, stopped Hrgovic to win the interim belt in June before being upgraded to the official champion after Alexander Usyk vacated the regular title. He will now defend against Anthony Joshua, a former who is aiming to become a three-time champion. So he is a former champion, aiming to become a three-time champion at age 34, and also aiming to get the biggest fight in British heavyweight history, which would be him versus Tyson Fury, which is what they're aiming for, shall there be a victory in this matchup. Joshua, funny enough, back in June, said he was threatening to put a chair across Dubois' face, which is comical because this is not pro wrestling. So, my friend, what do you think about this fight? Who do you think will win?
Ooh, this early prediction. Oh man. I do like this fight. I'm not a fan of the tough guy persona that Anthony Joshua tries to do sometimes. Just be himself. There's no need to because when they had a face off I think it was last month, he was trying to intimidate Dubois, and Daniel Dubois wasn't having it. And this isn't like the meek, timid Dubois who fought Usyk. Even though I thought he did win that fight with that body shot before he got knocked out, but they say it was a low blow. If you follow his career, he's always been kind of reserved, very quiet, no personality, very, just to himself. But after that fight with Usyk, something's changed with this guy. This guy is legit. He's a killer now. He's I guess he's found his smile like Shawn Michaels lost back in the day. So when he fought Big Baby Jerome Miller, he put the beat down on him, and that's what Jerome Miller came in damn near 300 pounds or over 300 pounds. When he fought Philip Horvich, Horvich was talking so much junk. That's the guy Eddie Hearn was sizing up to be the next big thing. And when he fought him, he beat the snot out of that man. I mean, hands, feet, ankles, elbows, everything, beat his tail. So this Daniel Dubois is a new and improved, and he ain't playing around. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, he fought Otto Alwine and this is me doing no freaking prep for this one. You called me off guard with this, Omar. I know we was going over this one, but he beat Otto Wallin his last fight. No, did he beat him or Francis Ngannou? I think it was Francis Ngannou he beat last. But his last few fights, he's looked okay. He's looked a lot better. I think that Joshua's have finally gotten over the back-to-back losses with Usyk. That's a fight I don't want to see again because Usyk is just a better, more skilled fighter. Joshua, I don't think he's going to win this fight. I don't think he's going to win. I actually got Du Bois winning this fight. Yeah, I don't have Joshua winning this fight. Du Bois has been looking great. He's been looking very good his last two fights. And I think he tried to rattle Du Bois with the face off when he got in his face and he's in there with the tank top talking about hey Fam, show respect, Fam. Doing all that and Du Bois looking at him like, bro, what you want to do? What you want to do? Stood up. So he's not getting rattled by Joshua's antics. So I think Du Bois is coming in this fight. He's coming to take his head off. I got Joshua losing this fight, man, because the fight they want is. I hear you, Rick. Tell him, Rick.
Jeez Louise, what? Joshua,
because they want the Canelo. They want the Joshua Fury fight, but yeah. I mean that's 3-4 years too late. You know what I'm saying? That's like Wilder versus Joshua. That's like 5 years too late. I just don't see it. I do not see it happening. I don't, because if Usyk wins, you're not going to have that fight. You can have Joshua fight Joshua fight Fury just to have them fight. It'll still sell out at Wembley, but it won't be for the belts. Usyk might even retire. What is there left for Usyk after he fights Fury again? So Usyk will go down as one of the best cruiserweights of all time and one of the best heavyweights of all time for his feats. He won't be, maybe. I mean, it's a long list. I don't know if you put him in top 10, but for what he's done in his era, can't deny it. So that whole Joshua versus Fury is going to all predicate off if he wins this belt, because he wants to be a multiple time champion. So, and it might not happen because Du Bois is no joke. He's very good. And then you also got Bakalian and Zhang. They should be fighting pretty soon too. And that's going to be the brother who knocked out Jared Anderson on the undercard of Bud Crawford, and Zhang, who knocked out Wilder. So that's going to be a hard hitting affair. So there's some shaking up to do in the heavyweight division coming up. Some shaking up to do. I cannot wait. But I'm going with Du Bois, 100%.
Wow. Okay.
100%.
Joshua is the 450 favorite, which for him is shorter odds than usual. But damn, he's definitely the favorite. I can't see that. If anything, I could even see some sort of controversial decision, maybe even some money under the table, some sort of thing to make sure that Joshua and Fury fight. 450, yeah, he's a 450.
I don't care if he does a 619 like Rey Mysterio. It's going to be Du Bois, okay? I tried. It's
okay. We both had a stinker today. That's right.
Yeah,
Anthony and I got Anthony Joshua in this one. I can't see a way that they don't try to ensure every way possible that they get Joshua versus Fury, which may not be for the belts, but I disagree. It would still be the biggest heavyweight fight in British history. Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, there you go. Hey, Clubber D is the expert, not me. So. Take that to your DraftKings, FanDuel, ESPN Bet, whatever you betting platform you are on. Take the upset of Daniel Dubois, because you are going to win some money if that comes true, my friends.
Take
wow.
it. Pause.
All right. Well, before we get on out of here, we got a few mailbag questions from the fans. So, first mailbag question comes from Crack Streams. Who hails from Parts Unknown. Love that name. Hailing back to the little wrestling right there. Parts Unknown. Turkey Al-Sheikh has vowed to lower pay-per-view prices down to around $15 or $20. Currently, pay-per-view prices can range anywhere from $50 to $75 to $100 for mega fights. What are your thoughts on Turkey vowing to lower pay-per-view prices? Do you think he can get this done? And what will be the ultimate impact? Shout out. Thank you for the question.
Turkey Al-Sheikh is shaking the game up. Okay, he is going to change boxing, and he has the money to do that. I love it because breaking news: Shakur Stevenson is going to have emergency hand surgery, so he's not going to be fighting on the card with Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol for the undisputed.
Damn. Which
I'm pissed off because I as long as it's not them two, but I'm pissed off because one, it was a chance for him to kind of get shown in the world stage on pay-per-view overseas, get a bigger fan base. He's gonna fight somebody he could have got up out of there pretty soon and put on the show. But boxing needs to be more open for everybody. Okay, PBC's finally put on a decent card, even though they have. You got Rolly Romero on the undercard on Saturday, but where you got Stevie Fulton on the prelims, which is a crime that Stevie Fulton's not on the main card. You know, and people are paying pay-per-view prices for fights that should be on Boxing After Dark if you're old school HBO fan, or something like that should be on an HBO fight, or a fight that should be on Fox, or Spike TV back in the day. Like, it should be free, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Boxing should be more accessible to people, kind of like how UFC is, where they have these fight nights for free on ESPN. Where people are tired of paying $50, $60, $70 for non-title fights and, you know, fights that aren't that great. And these fight cards, when's the last time we've seen a good boxing fight card? You know, that was back in the HBO days when the whole card would be good. Now you got the main fighter, and then it's like, you know, or you got to go to the zone and find some good cards on there, you know, so for upcoming fighters. But that's the issue with boxing. And with Turkey Al-Sheikh making it $15, $20, that's going to stop the person who will want to stream that for free. I'm like, oh, it was $15. Okay, I'll buy that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to hurt the wallet. That's kind of his goal is to try to alleviate people from illegally streaming everything. So he's making it cheaper. And I agree with him. You know, I wholeheartedly agree with him. These should be cheaper fight cards. This fight card for PBC is like $90 on Saturday, you know, and do you really want to pay $90? I think the last Tank fight was like 70, you know. So I mean, hell, UFC is just expensive, but at least they have a lot of fights that are good on the card. You know, you some of these fights, it's like, okay, one good fight and that's it, a bunch of prospects. So I'm all for it. I think it's gonna put the pressure on the other promoters to kind of lower their money when it comes to putting on fights. And whatever you see that Riyadh season, that's Turkey Al-Sheikh. You know what I'm saying? He put the Riyadh season out there. He's promoted the UFC card. But I'm like, damn, brother, if they're boxing $10, $15, why UFC still $74? Go ahead and talk to Dana White about that, Turkey. Come on now. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and this is definitely going to have an effect on UFC, and it already has. I mean, technically, with the event at the Sphere, you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh is the one that has the lucrative Riyadh season sponsorship, and helped make it possible for Dana White and the UFC to even hold the fight at the Sphere, which White has said is going to top $20 million just to hold that one event. Which brings us to our next mailbag question from Dirty Roller out in Reno, Nevada. Shout out. Thank you for tuning in. UFC is said to be spending over $20 million. Thank you. That's what I just said. In this event at the Sphere, and is said to be losing money in this event. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on them trying to compete? What are your thoughts on them being involved with anything boxing related in Vegas?
Well, you got to understand what they're trying to do. Only reason why they're pushing this card is because Turkey Al-Sheikh is trying to box Canelo out. Whatever Canelo's putting on the card, he's going to put on a card with someone else to kind of counteract that.
So fucking petty.
Hey, I love it because he wants Bud versus Canelo. Yeah. And Canelo really doesn't have a great relationship with Turkey Al-Sheikh, saying, oh, I want this. Kind of like Gervonta Davis asked for 2 Ferraris or whatever, because he wants to put on good fights. Okay. He wants to bring balance back into boxing to where my era of boxing was the best fighters fought the best. There was no excuses. There was no whatever. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to fight each other. Nowadays, it's not like that. So he wants to bring it back to the old days where the best fight the best. So if you're gonna sell lemonade on your block, I'm gonna sell lemonade across the street on my block. If you're gonna sell turnips on your block, I'm gonna sell turnips on my block. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what he's gonna do to Canelo, and try to go him to fight in Terrence Crawford. And that falls back to my master plan, which I said prior. What up, Skywalker? What up, Tim? What I'll say back to my master plan was, if Crawford fights Fundora, becomes unified champion at 154, okay, he can move up, fight Danny Garcia at 160, okay, that'd be his next step up. Then he could turn around and fight Canelo at 168. That's my master plan. That's why I want Garcia to win, because Garcia has been avoiding that work for years. He tried to duck him at 147. That's another story. So that's my master plan for that's why it's coming full circle, why I had a master plan for Garcia to win that fight. But anyways, Turkey Al Sheik, he's trying to basically box Canelo out. Okay, you got to fight this date. We're gonna do one over here on this time. I might take a hit, but 20 million, that's pocket change to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like me going to a dollar store, not spending no money. You know what I'm saying? I'm dusty, so it's whatever. But Turkey Al Sheik don't care. So that's why they're putting on this card to kind of go against Canelo's fight card. And it's petty, but I like it. I'm a big fan of pettiness as long as you're using your petty powers in the right way. If you're just being petty, just be petty. No, don't do that. It's a dick move. If you're petty for a reasoning, if someone provokes you to be petty, then do it. Bam.
It's definitely petty as hell, because he knows that since Canelo is rebuffing him and his offers for the Bud fight, that he's gonna be petty and follow him around and try to take as much money away as possible, from him, even if it means partnering with an enemy type of promotion, which I guess maybe not enemies, but definitely different industries, if nothing else. Shout out Skywalker and the rest of the crew. Y'all make sure you tap in and subscribe with them for some awesome boxing interviews. Last night, Clubber D, the Combat G, was on with them. Who were y'all interviewing last night, my friend?
Taj the Tiger, and I don't want to butcher his last name, because I got to look it up real quick, because Teasley. Okay, I didn't mess up too much, but Taj Teasley is from Allentown, PA. He's 11-0 with 5 knockouts. He was on the Red Owl fight night on DAZN last week. This man got knocked out in the second round, came back to knock this man out. I think it was the 8th round he knocked him out, but the last 2 rounds he his ass. And great young dude, man. He's a hell of a good interview, and I wish nothing but the best for him. He's a rising welterweight. Like I said, he's 11-0. That was his first fight outside of PA. We're fighting down in Houston. Hopefully we get to see him soon, pretty fast. But shout out to Taj the Tiger Teasley. And shout out to Skywalker, man. This guy, he's like, hey, Dion, you want to come on an interview? You know what? I'll come. I'll show up. I might be on an interview tomorrow. We'll see. I got a minor procedure tomorrow. We'll see how banged up I am. But if I'm good to go, I might be able to be on tomorrow, 11 o'clock at night. But yeah, it was a great card. And shout out to him. Shout out to my man Tim Skywalker. Shout out to Josh from 86 Boxing. Shout out to Papa Chuneo, aka my man Ernest. All at 86 Boxing. I'm gonna link up with him for the Keyshawn Davis fight down in Norfolk in November. That Friday. So I'm gonna slide down for that. We're gonna go have some fun. But yeah, man, shout out to them fellas, man. They're good peoples. Good peoples.
Yeah, very good people, very good content. Y'all make sure you tap in and subscribe to all of their channels for show. We answered this, but I know you might have not been on at the time. Clubber D.
I got to. Yeah, I got Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Laura's gonna have 2 losses by somebody by the name Swift. The other one was Jared Hurd. But you know what I'm saying? I think that that's part of my master plan of Terrence Crawford fighting Canelo. Because if Crawford gets Fundora, he's unified champion. At 154, moves up to 160, gets that belt from Danny Garcia, then he fights Canelo. So he gradually moves up. But I'm going with I love Erislandy Lara. I love his career, but both of them have inactivity. But I'm going with the younger guy with the inactivity, and that's Danny Garcia.
I love it, and I love the connecting of the storylines. You know how I like to do my storylines. I love how you connected all those storylines together. Very well done.
Got a problem with the Swift. People got a Swift nickname. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jared Hurd, PG County.
Again, we're again. Make sure y'all all tap in. Skywalker Boxeo, 86 Boxing, Papichun Yale, all of them. Make sure you tap in with them, subscribe to the channels. Make sure as well that you subscribe to our channels as well at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow on IG. So right now, wherever you're at, because I know all the time we're on these videos and we say, hey, like the stream, and you like, okay, and then you don't do it and you don't subscribe. If you're on Instagram, like and follow right now. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe right now. One more question to go before we get out of here. This comes from No Limit Silk. Great name. I used to love Silk the Shocker, even though he was the most horrible rapper ever. But I still loved him. Worse. It was top 5 worst, but I still loved it. And I bought the CD with the white CD that looked like the credit card.
Hey, shout out to him, man. He pulled Maya. He pulled Maya. Shout out to him. Silk the Shocker. He'll always be a goat for that. That
is tremendous. Maya is, I haven't seen her in a while, but she was a very beautiful lady.
She's still beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I'd simp. I'd buy dinner and, you know, you get appetizer and a meal and dessert.
What is the next opponent for Tank Davis?
Oh, man. It is so Tank, the Shakur back and forth, Shakur revealed that the offer was never sent. Lomachenko, they're saying that it was a lowball offer that he got from them. So Lomachenko said no. I don't know why he didn't reach out to the other Ukrainian champion at 135. I'm not sure why that didn't happen. The backup plan was going to be Pitbull Cruz, but El Rayo got him out of there. Valenzuela, he beat him at the Crawford undercard. So now they're kind of negotiating with him, but his manager Garcia is saying that he won't be ready by November. So I'm not too sure who he's going to fight. It's a good question. Me personally, I wish it'd be like somebody like Jose Zepeda, who's number 1 in kind of all the belts. I think he's number 1 in the WBA with the belt that Tank has. And Zepeda, but I think they're trying to get Zepeda versus Shakur. So they got Zepeda going against Tevin Farmer on another undercard. So Tank's in a tough spot. He said that he wants to get all the belts after this fight, but there's no fighter out there for him to fight. I just no one of name, and that's not new for him because he sometimes doesn't fight people of name. But you know, I think Tank is. I'll be shocked if he fights Jose. It's Jose Venezuela, I believe so. El Rayo. If he fights him at a catch weight, a little above 140, I could see that maybe, but I don't know. I really don't know because they had that date of November 2nd, I believe, or somewhere in early November that they want him to fight. So Tank's in a tough spot right now.
Okay. Awesome. And finally, good.
And breaking news: Shakur Stevens is off the BF fan. He emergency hand surgery, so he's not fighting Joe Cordero. That just happened about like 2 hours ago. They just broke that news. He's having emergency hand surgery, and I believe when we spoke with Skywalker and 86 and all of them, I kind of said something. His hand was, I forgot what round it was, but he kind of held back using that hand. I think it was left. I think it's his right hand. But you know, emergency hand surgery. I'm kind of pissed he's not on there. Yeah, I don't know if I covered that earlier, but I'll say it again. Why not? But yeah.
Yeah, you did say that earlier. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. I don't know.
It's all good. So this is the last question. It comes from me, obviously, as always. So, Professor, question for Clubber D. Obviously, you have said and have been very, outspoken about the impact that Turki Al-Sheikh has had in the boxing world. You even had a session with the boys from 86 Boxing, Skywalker Boxing. Y'all go check it out, YouTube at Ball and Buds. I just posted the video today where the boys have a 20-minute roundtable on the impact that Turki Al-Sheikh has had so far. So for those of you that don't know, a little bit of quick background before we get to Clubber D. Turki Al-Sheikh came into the public eye in 2023, and through his immense power, through the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Public Investment Fund and the amounts of money that they have and all of that stuff, he was able to start bringing in events, boxing, wrestling, MMA, all kinds of things. But his influence obviously is biggest in boxing, which is the sport that he loves the most and is the one that he wants to bring all the good fights, all the good pay-per-views, lower the prices of pay-per-views as we talked about, bring fights not only to Riyadh, but also to bring up Las Vegas. All of these things he's doing, the most importantly, I think, to us as fans and as people that, come on and talk about the sport, is to have the best fight the best, because that's really what we want to see. And he's bringing that back. He's bringing back at least an effort to make things better in the sport of boxing that has been languishing now for so long. So my friend, everybody go check out that video on the roundtable that they had, but tell everybody, what are your thoughts on Turki Al-Sheikh? And I know you talked a little bit earlier about with the lowering of the prices of pay-per-view, so you don't have to get into that. But overall, in the short period of time that he's been around, how much impact has he had, and what amount of impact can he have in the end after all is said and done?
Well, it's kind of like the Arthur Blank of boxing, where Arthur Blank lowered the prices of concession stands in Atlanta for the Falcons games, saying beer,
right,
hot dogs, or like Sam's Club and Costco prices, saying like you go to some places, you're paying like $12 for a beer. I think it's $3 in Atlanta or something like that, or it's kind of cheap. So that's what he's trying to do, because he's trying to, boxing is lower. It's not what it used to be. Okay. I used to watch Tuesday night fights on USA. I used to watch Friday night fights on ESPN. There used to be boxing on CBS back in the day. Everybody used to get sized up for boxing on HBO, not even pay-per-view, just regular HBO or Showtime fights back in the day. Great memories of going to my dad's house or hanging out with my dad when I was even young, and we're watching Pernell Whitaker fight, De La Hoya fight, Bernard Hopkins fight, Roy Jones fight. Now that's not the same. Okay, when you watch these upper covers, they're all on pay-per-view. You're not making a star on TV. So what Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to do, he's trying to bring boxing back to its roots as far as making it more accessible for people. And also, he wants to get the best to fight the best and showcase that. And nowadays, boxers want to worry about their win-loss record, or worry about they're scared to take an O, basically. I think it's more so the Mayweather effect. I think I mentioned that also in theirs, where a lot of fighters are not wanting to fight each other because they'll take an L, they'll take a loss, and there's nothing wrong with taking a loss. No fighters under. I mean, you got Mayweather. He fought McGregor to be that 15-0, which shouldn't even count. But it shouldn't be bad. It's not bad if you take a loss. Okay, it's not. You're a fighter. No one's perfect. Okay, so dare to be great, get the belts, and go from there. Okay, now people just worry about the money. You got Devin Haney. People hate on Devin Haney and hate on Bud Crawford all the time. And all they want to do is be great. And regardless of what you think about them, they're in the record books as far as their accomplishments. A lot of these other fighters that are hating on them won't even come close to those. So 10 years from now, they'll still be known. These people won't. So my thing is this: I think Turki, with lowering the prices, one of the big fighters to fight each other, and making boxing more accessible is going to be the key to get boxing back to where it needs to be. And the only problem for us Americans is that if he keeps having fights overseas, we have to adhere to their time. So the Arthur Beterbiev and Bivol fight, that's going to be during the day. That's on Saturday. A lot of us Americans are watching college football. You're out picking apples and hanging out with the wife and kids, and even taking the side chick out to Taco Bell. You could not be doing other things besides watching that fight during the day. So, but it's
and it better not be picking apples, damn it. If you're out there picking apples on a damn Saturday, you know who you are, people. Grow a pair. Anyway.
Hey, look here. Some people be picking apples. They be doing, stepping on grapes instead of making wine. So hey, shout out to them. But you know what I'm saying? We got stuff to do during the day, but they had to adhere to our time zones. But that's the only thing that might come with issues when he tries to have these big fights with Americans at certain times if it's overseas. Because I remember Francis Ngannou, even though they're not American, and Joshua, I had to watch that fight on a Friday when I just got off work. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a hassle, but I think people will adapt. I think that's why he had his first fight in America with Terrence Crawford. There's going to be more to come. So I feel like he's going to change the game in boxing. Only one that's PBC even has had their fighters fight with him. So, I think he's going to bring boxing back to where it is. Picture somebody from overseas bringing boxing bringing balance into the Force as a Star Wars reference, but it is what it is. We need somebody to do that.
I mean, that's an understatement. We have needed someone to bring back the mystique, the aura, just the prestige that boxing has been missing for so long, because of the politics and because of the infighting and because of the wanting to keep your O's and wanting to make that money and wanting to this and that and stay on your side of the street and all this other stuff. I mean, whether you like the Saudi Arabians' involvement or not, and whether or not you may agree with the things that happen in their country, he himself and what he has done for boxing is nothing short of a huge blessing for the boxing community and boxing fans themselves. You agree?
Agreed. It's one of those things where people got to get over their prejudice as far as like seeing people that don't look like them promoting the sport. Boxing didn't start in America, so they need to calm that down. So I think boxing's on the up and up, and like with Top Rank learning how to. Sorry, Top Rank never had a great job at promoting African American fighters. Now I think they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. You got Keyshawn Davis, Olympic silver medalist, fighting at his home in 757. Coming up in November. And that's gonna be a big crowd there. Bob Arum did his best, but he could have better promoting Bud Crawford. Amazon is even stepping up their game a little bit with Canelo. I'm starting to I go on Amazon right now and I see an ad for the Canelo Alvarez fight. I'm like, oh, you guys should have done something to take Davis fight, but they're starting to figure it out. But they're only providing the platform to have the fight on for pay-per-view, but they're not really paying the fighter. So it's all about promotion with boxing. UFC is winning right now. Mixed martial arts, a shout out to them. I'm a big mixed martial arts fan, but I started with boxing, and my love will always be with boxing. But UFC has figured out how to do the marketing. It's a bit of UFC fatigue right now, having all these damn fight nights every other week, but they're still put in good numbers, and boxing will get there eventually, but it just has to reset itself, just like everything else in life. Once it resets, flattens out, and moves up. That's what it has to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything you said was spot on. And hopefully we can see in the future the evolvement of the sport for just obviously the betterment of it all and the betterment of the fights and the fans and everybody involved. So from Ball and Bud, shout out Turkey I'll Shoot. We love you over here. Hey, if you ever need us to come, commentate on a fight or come out there and do some promotion for,
fly me out.
We'll be there. We will be there in a heartbeat.
About 9 or 10 Habibis out there.
There you go. Hey, just let us know. Fly us out there, baby. Don't worry about it, Skywalker. We got you. Understand? Wife comes first. The wife and family always comes first, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate everyone tuning in today. Obviously, we really appreciate y'all. So make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Subscribe on YouTube right now. You're on there. Like, subscribe right now. IG, follow, like, all that good stuff. Cool. Next week, Mind of the Professor #4, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, same time. We're actually going to start going to this schedule, a normalized schedule, where we try to come pretty much every week. Either my Mind of the Professor, Banter Brawls and Bravado, or the Cumberdy Combat Sports Special. So we'll have Mind of the Professor next week. And then on October the 2nd, October the 2nd, we will be back for Clubber D's Combat Sports Special, where we'll be talking about UFC 307, the Dubois Joshua fight, and also that will be ahead of, which we'll have a special episode for this. But we're going to hopefully have all the boys back on for a special episode of the Better Biev Bivol fight, which is coming up in October 12th. So maybe we can make it that day.
We'll try to do like a prediction show and maybe a prediction, and we'll do a follow-up Well, I reached out to the fellas. I know Scott Walker said he's down. I'm pretty sure Ernest and Josh be down too. We'll definitely reach out, try to get that crack, and that way we can do a little little prediction show thing, and then talk about the outcome of everything. And it's $15. It should be $15. So y'all suckers better buy that. All right, quit being cheap. You know damn well you spent more on your side piece and you ain't getting nothing from her. But it is what it is. $15. Buy that pay-per-view. Y'all being dusty out there.
If it's $15, definitely pay for it. If not, I want you to go back to the first question of the mailbag. Check out that name. Go ahead and find that somewhere, maybe in a incognito browser, and you'll be good to go.
With the VPN. See, my man Tim already down. My man Skywalker. That's what I'm talking about.
Already down. So we'll do that on the 5th then, because I'll be out of the country the following week before that, so I won't be able to do it then. But the 5th we'll do it. So that being said, thanks again for everybody tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds. Check out Clubber D on TikTok, clubber.d. And yeah, we really appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Y'all make sure you stay safe out there. Oh, and by the way, I feel horrible that I didn't say this at the beginning of the episode, but we would be remiss, Clubber D and I both as veterans, to not say that obviously today is one of the most impactful days in our history with 9/11. So I'm not going to be cheesy and say never forget or anything like that, but I will say that Clubber D and I were both in the military at this time, and this is both very close to him and I in terms of impact on times of our lives. So we just want to send our love and prayers and blessings out to all the soldiers that keep us free in this country, and to everyone that paid that ultimate sacrifice. Coming from 2 veterans, we love you and we wish everyone peace on this day in remembrance. So thanks again, and we'll see y'all next time.
One last thing.
Go ahead.
We didn't do this on a banter show, but yeah. Oh no, we're good. My bad. Peace out.
You're good.
He's with the millions. It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat close. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, cameras, get low. Action back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hard like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clubber D, the Combat G, and the Sports Professor.